Hey y'all, here it is, 73 R75/5, long wheelbase. If you're watching this, you probably know what all that means. This video is mostly for the folks on Adventure Rider that have been helping me out, giving me good advice. I really appreciate it. This will be, I don't know, a project getting it going again. And this is just a way to document where it's at right now. It hasn't changed much since I sold it in 2013. It's got less than 1,000 miles added since then. It's mostly sat. It needs a fuel system cleaned out, carbs rebuilt probably. A lot of rubber bits replaced, tires, fork boots, the output boot on the transmission. They're all kind of beat up. There's rust, scratches. Tank's real rusty inside. Looks like it's been losing a little oil, but I'm not sure. It's not done it while sitting, but maybe when I get it running. The choke doesn't clear that battery, or it maybe froze up, but I think it's rubbing the battery when I try to operate it. Yeah, it's hitting it. I'm gonna get a battery out of there and see if the cables are free at least. And it needs a hot battery. That one's not doing great right now, even though it's not very old. It's just not been run much. The carbs are older. They're /3/4s, which y'all tell me is from older Airheads, earlier 70s. And they're not ideal, but I'll see if I can get them to work for me. This fairing, this Avon Air fairing from Avon, it's I think it was normally for a /2, but I've seen a few /5s with them online. The fairing's kind of rare, I guess. It's got some gauges. It's got an oil pressure gauge, which I think worked when I last had it, and a gauge showing you how much juice you're making. I think they both worked. I can see where the oil gauge is wired up. It should work. The switch gear was broken or disintegrated. It's in this box. I'm just going to replace it. But these perches, these threads are eat up on both sides. I'm not sure why. But I'm going to have to figure out mirrors because of that. I'll see what I can do. There were bar back risers on here because this doesn't actually clear the fairing. It does on that side. But if I turn this lever down, it might clear it. It looks like the risers were hitting the tank. I think it was like that previously. Sorry for the bird crap. This thing was stored in some kid's shed before I got it back. And now it's living in my shed where it's at least bird free. So that's a start. That's an upgrade. The seat, I'm told, is probably from a /6. It's a little rough. I'll pull it off and show it to you later. I'll probably just replace it entirely when the time is right. It's not a big thing right now. There are tabs for side covers, but I'm not sure if they're broken or if they're supposed to be that short. There's two on the other side as well. But that's the only tabs I've noticed. The pegs have been relocated, it looks like, probably to clear the Wixom luggage, which I have. I've got this top box, but I've also got the bags. You call them bags. They're really fiberglass boxes, but who am I to argue? I think all the fiberglass stuff, the luggage and the fairing, would look great polished up and pinstriped. I'll probably take it off at some point and do just that down the road. But I do have to remove, as I was told, and you can kind of tell it's pretty obvious, you have to remove the exhaust system to get this fairing off, which could be a big project if these nuts right here don't want to come off the exhaust, so I'm gonna get it running first before I even approach that. But when it comes time, I'll probably soak them in oil for a few days and see if I can break them off there. I gotta get the wrench or the spanner to do it as well, so that's gonna be later. This crossover pipe, it's a little rusted out, not a big deal. The headers look good, besides somebody put a tarp on them while they were hot. So, yeah. Fork gators over here, pretty rough. Tubes look good underneath, but I'll have to get them off to really see. Tires, same tires from when I sold it. Not dry rotted, but I'm not sure I trust them. They're pretty old, I'd say. I'm gonna try to date them later. What else have we got going on? Oh, these exhausts. Somebody told me these were Mac. They may be Mac that have been painted. They might have been chrome. I'm not sure. This one has a little rust hole underneath. It's not really little, but I'm not too worried about it just yet. See that? Oh, it's not a big deal. And I'll probably just try to get somebody to fix it for me. I'm no welder, but I know a couple. Fortunately, I don't think this thing's gonna need much real fabricating to make it go again. The tank, like I said, pretty rusty. I gotta go through the fuel system, rebuild carbs, fuel lines, petcocks, all that. I'll show you what it looks like in here though. Pretty bad. I'm gonna pick up some white vinegar and tackle that. And the cap, the gasket underneath also. I mean, it's pretty bad. The gauge needles wore out. The rest of it would probably clean up good though. The fairing, yeah, it's very cool, but it's kind of like Batgirl as well. And the Stanley Japanese turn signals with the bullets on them, that's something. These have got red lenses, as you see. They may not clean up very well. I may replace them down the line. This lens is off. We're dealing with wire nuts there. That's always good. The lens is in the box, but I gotta figure out why they're messing with it in the first place. What else? That's most of what I've noticed. I'm gonna pop the seat off and let you have a look. Alright, yeah. I guess it came from the factory like this, but not necessarily on a /5. It's just been fitted to this one. The hooks, I've got this hook right here, but never fit right, even back when I owned it before. I think I might replace it later. And then where the pin goes, this latch, I don't know if that's wore out too badly or if that's how that's supposed to be. This needs tacked down right here. Not a big deal. But it does have scratches and rust. Nicks here and there. But I think it's savable. I think it's worth saving. Because it's in pretty nice shape, really, considering it's over 50 years old. And it's not been cared for as well as it should have been. So, we're going to try to get back to that. If you have any advice, or if there's anything I didn't mention that you saw, let me know. Any help is greatly appreciated. And looking forward to updating you guys as this thing improves.